COVID. And hello, everyone. A very good day. So I'm Prem Maheshwaran. I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can build a co-creative enterprise using ServiceDesk Plus. Right. So we all talk about building co-creative enterprises, co-create value streams, and we always want to include the stakeholders, include other business functions. However, there are a lot of practical challenges that are there in our way uh, to really be able to become a co-creative enterprise. Right. So we try hard to communicate with other business functions. We try hard to communicate with our stakeholders and involve them in various different activities. And we try really hard to bring in our employees to participate in the activities of service management. I would like to share the challenges that I have cataloged, and I also want to share the approach that we have taken with ServiceDesk Plus in order to overcome those challenges with the features available in ServiceDesk Plus. But before we go into the discussion, I'd like to share a little bit about my organization. So ManageEngine is the enterprise IT management division of Zoho Corporation, which is our parent organization. So we are a privately held and a profitable company since inception, and Zoho has three lines of businesses. Zoho.com, under which we develop applications for businesses, collaboration, and productivity. ManageEngine is the enterprise IT management solutions wing of Zoho Corporation, and we have got WebNMS, which is an IoT management framework. Right, so we've got about 18 plus years of expertise in IT management solutions. We have got about 180,000 customers and 2,500 dedicated employees for ManageEngine. And under ManageEngine, we developed 90 plus product and free tools for IT management, and our footprint is in more than 190 plus countries. So ManageEngine, we don't develop just service desks. We don't focus only on the service management vertical. We have solutions for various different solutions. Like we have got endpoint management solution, IT security, analytics, operations, identity and access management. So we try to cover the entire spectrum of IT. And ManageEngine ServiceDesk Plus is the idle-ready service desk software, which comes with integrated asset management capabilities, which is also topped up with the enterprise service management capabilities. We have been in the market since 2005. Around 100,000 customers trust us. We have got about 37 languages supported by ManageEngine ServiceDesk Plus, offered as an on-premises and a cloud solution. And the cloud solution of ServiceDesk Plus is hosted in our own data centers. That way we take away all the dependencies. And the location of data centers are spread across different geographical locations. Right. So with that, I'd like to come to the actual discussion. Right. So how to build a co-creative enterprise. Now, in any business, there are two distinct types of services that we deliver. One of the services is focused on the intrinsic customers or employees. So our business functions like IT, facilities, and other departments provide services that are focused on the employees. On the other hand, our employees provide services to the external customers. So this is how majority of the businesses operate. This is how most of the businesses function. And these two services go hand in hand. Right? So that is what experience has taught us. The more you empower your intrinsic customers, the more happy your external customers are going to be. Now, how do we keep our internal customers happy, satisfied, as well as provided with all the essentials, bells and whistles? And how we are going to empower your internal customers is what we are going to discuss with in this presentation. And with ManageEngine, we can help you in different ways. So to build a co-creative enterprise, we want to empower the remote first employees. So we have to focus on service discovery, decentralized technology, and also there should be frictionless security, right? So unifying services across business functions is one of the key focuses, right? So there are different services that are offered by different business functions. So when you onboard a new hire into your organization, all these business functions have to work in tandem, synergize, and deliver the service to create a great employee experience on first day, right? So now we have to see how you can unify those business functions. What are the different approaches that you can take? How you can reduce friction in collaboration. Many times, co-creative efforts fail because of lack of collaboration and friction in collaboration. How we can smoothen it? How you can democratize IT assets without compromising security, how can you, build an identity-based security for remote work and redefine the perimeters of your organization. So when you do this, you are actually empowering your employee who can produce great customer experience for your external customers, right? So that is how we have approached uh, the strategy of building features on Service Desk Plus. So some of the key challenges that we have in building co-creative enterprises, multiple departments and multiple microcultures. Every department has their own way of doing stuff. So when we want to implement methods uh, where you want to unify the business function or collaborate effectively with other business functions, many times we fail because the policies and process followed in different business functions are different from that of IT, right? So when you pass a request to another department, they have their own way of doing stuff. And when an employee reaches IT, he receives a different set of service level, and from the other departments, service level might be different, right? So that is because of the microculture that exists within the business function, and resistance to technology that we have observed a lot of times, right? So even in many organizations, when we wanted to implement a chatbot, we have observed resistance from their employees, right? So we always have observed it, and that is one of the challenges that we have when you want to create a co-creative enterprise. Absence of technical expertise. Many times the other business function know, or the stakeholders know what they really want, right? But they have to rely on the IT all the time to realize it or build the processes. And apps from different vendors that don't talk to each other. It's impossible for us to procure all the different solutions from the same vendor, or that doesn't exist, right? So we want a very common platform which can be used to integrate other vendors and apps that can talk to each other to deliver great value. And lack of no code and low code workflow automation is also a huge problem. And finally, when we talk about automation, the accuracy of the automation is also a key factor, right? So technologies like chatbot, technology like artificial intelligence and machine learning has to be accurate when it is implemented in the enterprises, right? So I'm absolutely fine when I ask Siri or OK Google to play a song and it plays a different song, but it cannot happen in an enterprise. That level of error is not going to be okay within an enterprise, and it has to be accurate. And how accurate automations can be produced? It's primarily with the data set we have. And many times when we want to implement machine learning or chatbot or NLP, the problem that we face is the data set is not very nice and clean, which cannot be used by machine learning models to learn. So that is one more challenge where innovation cannot be applied over an existing data set to build a co-creative enterprise. Now, let me take a few examples to discuss on how we can implement this in various scenarios. One of the things is the onboarding and offboarding experience, right? So when we onboard a new hire into the organization, we have to provide services from various business functions and departments, and these all have to happen seamlessly like a fabric. So we have to build a seamless fabric of services and provide it to the employee in order to produce a great first day experience. But the problem is different functions have different set of roles, responsibilities, and activities that have to be done. And coordinating such a huge effort in order to onboard a new employee and give him a great first day experience is a huge challenge for any organization. And it is amplified uh, during this pandemic situation and remote works, right? So every organization had to reinvent the way they're operating it, the onboarding process. They had to reinvent uh, how they synergize with other departments. And there are different approaches that we can take. Now, I would like to share the hard way of doing this and the ESM way that we proposed with Service Desk Plus, right? The hard way, we don't have a centralized portal, right? So every department have their own tools, different mediums, different channels, and end users have to go to different mediums, channels, email addresses, call different people in order to get what they want. And many a times, this huge burden is put upon the new employee. Employee had to call different departments, coordinate people, and get what he or she wants. All right. So I have seen many experiences where the new employee had to coordinate with the facilities team as well as the IT team, the finance team, and the HR team to get some common services from these business functions. However, when we take the ESM way of doing stuff, enterprise service management acts as a central hub, channeling communication, delegating tasks to different departments and business function, facilitate to build a seamless fabric of service for the new employee. All right, so I'm going to quickly show you in ServiceDesk Plus how it can be done. All right. Right. So in ServiceDesk Plus, enterprise service management portal can be built using the enterprise service management. Right. So once you enable ESM, end users can go to one common portal, use an Omni search bar to get information from multiple departments. All these departments can be built as instances in ServiceDesk Plus for IT, facilities, travel, all the other business functions can be brought under one tool. Once that happens, now end users get a unified experience, a central hub where they can reach out to get all these services. So opposite to decentralization, we kind of propose the idea of centralizing all the departments under one tool. But the problem when you have a centralized tool is how it operates. The tool has different configurations and focus primarily on IT, right? So most of the service desk tools are IT centric, right? Now, this IT practices might not be useful for HR or other business functions. They cannot follow the same set of rules, configurations, and policies that IT follows. Now, that is why we want to give the complete freedom to the other instance and even appoint one of the executives of the other business function as the owner of the instance. So when that happens, it will be easier for us to have complete control over the data and the configuration. Now, let me quickly take you into the enterprise service management directory from where we can operate ESM in ServiceDesk Plus. So here, to create a new instance, all we have to do is go to ServiceDesk instances, and here I can create different instances and allocate owner from as one of the department members. Even IT will not have complete control over the configuration and the data. And the best part is, every instance can be customized for the department's requirement. Right, let me go back to ESM instances. I'll go into HR help desk. Now, under the HR help desk, all the configurations will be related to HR. All right, so if you want to create a new request there, all the different templates will be there from the HR. All right, the categories, subcategories, the business rules, the metrics that they want to measure, everything can be customized for their own requirements. So that way we preserve the microculture, we preserve the policies and processes that they follow within an organization, and also the privacy of information is safely handled. Right. So this is how you can actually do enterprise service management to unify the other business functions and create a seamless experience for the end user. All right. The second point or challenge that I would like to talk about is self-service. So we have been trying hard for about a decade or so, or more than that, to implement service catalog in various organizations, and many times we have seen it as a failure, right? So we build beautiful service catalogs. However, end users do not access this or use the conventional method to reach out to IT all the time. Right? Self-service has to be reinvented. We have to find different ways to push the same self-service as a usable method to reach out to end users and also enable them to help themselves. Right? So that is where we have taken a different approach this time. So now, instead of trying to push end users into service desk, we want to make service desk omnipresent and be available wherever the end users are. Right? One of the ways is to build a chatbot inside Service Desk Plus. Right? So once again, it's inside Service Desk Plus, right? So Service Desk Plus comes with a ready-to-deploy chatbot that can be accessed via a mobile app or from the web console, and it can even be embedded in your organizational portal. Right? So we don't want end users to even come into Service Desk Plus to access services. Instead, they can access it from anywhere. Right? So we can plug this chatbot even into the enterprise portal, a common website, or any other place where you want any website where you want it to be. All right, so now end users can access this chatbot. We call it Zia, and using Zia, they can actually get a variety of services, access via their voice commands and chat commands. Now, even technicians can make use of this to effectively do their work. So, especially when we are working from home, we may have to handle a lot of different things and also take care of the service desk. So, technicians can use the chat commands to perform operations like moving the request, adding a note, assigning a reminder, reassigning a request to different technicians, checking the status on tickets. All that operations can be performed right from their mobile application, right? And also you can embed it into a common organizational portal. In addition to that, we also want to extend Service Desk Plus into day-to-day productivity applications like Microsoft Teams, Outlook, etc. Right? So Service Desk Plus has an app for MS Teams. Once integrated with MS Teams, now we give the end users the power to access their organizational services directly from the Microsoft Teams application. So from here, they can perform operations like raising a new request, checking the status on the request, chatting with the technician. So all operations can be performed right from MS Teams. So all you have to do is go to the apps and then add Service Desk Plus Cloud into MS Teams. And once the integration happens, it enables technicians and end users to perform a variety of operations. So even we can create different channels for technicians to collaborate on major incidents and all that. All right, so automating processes. So automation is one more key innovation or technology that we have to use to build co-creative enterprises. And when it comes to automation, it's easy to automate processes within a department. But when it comes to integrating multiple departments and automating the process across departments, that is where the real challenge is. So I'm going to show you how workflows can be created across functions, right? So that is where life cycles in Service Desk Plus is going to enable our other department users as well as IT users to create beautiful processes without having to code, all right? So in Service Desk Plus, under the setup, we have got different life cycles for incidents, problems, service requests. We have got workflows for changes and releases. So making use of it, end users, administrators can build different processes using the graphical interface, the graphic workflow interface, and build processes. And when it comes to last mile customization, so that is where IT might be using a set of tools to create a tool chain to realize the processes. Similarly, HR will have a set of tools that they really use on a day-to-day basis, like HRMS system. There is a calendar they want to use separately, and the system has to talk to Service Desk Plus. And to enable the last mile customization, we have packaged Service Desk Plus with a developer space, and the developer space comes with a proprietary programming language. We call it as Deluge, which is very similar to that of JavaScript. So anyone who is comfortable with JavaScript, then make use of the developer space to build custom menu items, buttons with which they can operate and perform a variety of operations, custom widgets. If you want to bring in information from another system and show it inside Service Desk Plus, like a dashboard, like a chat widget, that can be invoked into Service Desk Plus. We can create custom functions to automate, create connections with a variety of applications that are supported by Service Desk Plus. And even you can create a custom module, meaning these are modules available out of the box. And if you want to create a separate module, so here I have created maintenance as a separate module, and even that can be achieved with developer space. And workflow across tools, all right? So once again, making use of the developer space and integrations, we can create workflows across tools. Service Desk Plus comes with a set of third-party integrations that are widely used. We can make use of it to enable them and leverage the existing IT investments and push information contextually into various applications and achieve an integrated way of doing things. And finally, analytics-driven decision-making. So we talked about how accurate automations have to be done, right? So when it comes to accurate automation, it is always topped with very good analytics. So Service Desk Plus is integrated with Zoho Analytics, right? So which is a business intelligence tool. Now, making use of Zoho Analytics, I can actually perform a lot of dashboards, get a lot of dashboards out of the box And also, I can make use of voice commands. So to perform operations and get the information that we need. Right. So that kind of analytics will enable the administrators to create powerful automations. So for example, I can go to Ask Zia within analytics, talk to Zia and get the information I want. Show me technicians with most number of tickets. All right, I think it's the bandwidth. Yeah. So anyways, so that is how you can make use of all these features. And to add upon that, ManageEngine has different point products that can operate around Microsoft ecosystem. So ServiceDesk Plus has integration with many Microsoft products, similarly 8360, which is an identity management solution from ServiceDesk Plus, can operate Microsoft domain controller, Azure DC, and all that, and Desktop Central, which is a unified endpoint management solution. So now these three products can work together to deliver a great first experience. So endpoint management will enable the administrators to work on the endpoints and get information, push and operate the endpoints. Similarly, creating accounts in Active Directory, creating accounts in Azure, creating accounts in all the other different business applications can be taken care of by 8360. Now, integrating these three to create a tool chain can completely operate your ecosystem. So with that, I have come to the conclusion of my presentation. Thank you so much. So if you want more information, you can shoot an email to hello@servicedeskplus.com. I've also shared my email address there. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you, Prem. We've got a couple of minutes left, and I don't think there's any. Oh, yeah, I might be wrong. Yes, we have one again from Naveed, who asked a question earlier. I'm not sure if you saw that, but Naveed was very interested in some of the asset management capabilities. So Naveed has asked, are we able to isolate data in the EU, so EU data centers, to comply with GDPR?
Certainly, yes. So the customer can choose from which data center ServiceDesk Plus has to operate for their business. Right, so you can choose the data center and you can restrict the data within that data center. It's absolutely can be done.
Fabulous, thank you, Naveed. And I've got a question about the Omni search bar. I'm really interested in maybe how that works. We've got like a minute or so, unfortunately, Prem, right? But maybe you can touch upon it a little bit later. So how does that work? What's involved with that? How do you what's in corporate? What is that Omni search sort of? How does that work?
All right, so at this point, Omni Search Bar can bring in results from the announcement that the different departments have made. So if there is a maintenance activity going on with facilities, they can make an announcement. Similarly, IT can make announcements. So if the end user has not noted it and the user wants to create an incident or report an incident, when he uses the Omni Search Bar, it will automatically show the announcements. Similarly, it can fetch self-help articles from the knowledge base. And if none of it works, through the Omni Search Bar, contextual templates will be shown to the end user. End user can make use of it to report incidents or raise service requests.
Great stuff. Good. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for that indeed, Prem. And you'll be joining us a little bit later in our next Q&A as well. So thank you for that. And we'll see you very soon. Thank you.